Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
This would be part of the Avett farm, from gardening to animals to raising kids. We do all that here.
And do it with a joy born of long trust in the idea that if you raise them right and give God his due, they're going to turn out fine.
You're a handsome girl. Come.
And now that life includes retirement, Jim Avett gets to spend more time on what might be called the family birthright, making music.
Right over there where the old barn stood, working and giving it all you could, and my daddy made sure we learned it right. That old piano has long been gone, but I can still see us singing them songs long time ago when the family was still here. But the memories are strong in my mind. The house takes me back to another time when it was just easier to get along. Dad was a Methodist preacher, a traveling preacher. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. My mother was a really good musician. She was a concert pianist until she met my dad, when she became the church organist, which is an unpaid position for the rest of her life. Every church we went to, she got to play the organ. Music was always, every day in our life. I was little and I was taking violin, which was a great embarrassment for a young fellow at that time. But I got to practice 30 to 40 minutes a day, whether I liked it or not. And I didn't like it. And you don't realize when you're young, all of this is education, every bit of it is. When I was a kid, we would go around to each other's houses and play music. If I could get a ride down to a little place called Dudley Shoals, there were some people making music on the front porch. And I learned some stuff right there that I didn't realize was going to be important later on. I come back to that over and over and over.
Every Tuesday and Thursday evening for over a decade, Jim has driven his old pickup to Don's garage to make music, swap tunes, and have a good time.
Players are looking for places that they can share. The best way you can get better is get with others that are doing the same art you're doing. I'm not a great guitar picker. I'm a singer. And I know 1,000 songs. Say hello. So if I can pass on a set of lyrics to the next man, he'll be here after I'm not. Lord, baby, just a cabin in the corner of Glory Land. And maybe he can pass them on to the next man or the next girl. Woo! Jesus would be proud.
Jim and Susie have made a home here in Concord after time in Wyoming and Alaska, and their family fairly brims with the rhythms, the music of life.
I had been playing a tune called Grandfather's Clock. Seth was 11 or 12. He said, "Can you teach me that?" And I said, "Yes, I can, right now." And he went to his bedroom for 30 minutes. All of a sudden, the bedroom door came wide open. He said, "Mama, Mama, Mama, come here." Susie went in there and I followed in. I knew what was going to happen. He played a pretty good rendition of Grandfather's Clock, which makes your parents proud.
For Bonnie, Scott, and Seth, music was as much a part of their life as church-going.
Music is part of a well-rounded life. Life is flat without art. And you play an instrument the way that you play this instrument, not the way somebody else plays it. If it's not entertaining, we'll sit on the front porch and we'll entertain ourselves. You have to prepare yourself. You have to put the hours in to make yourself as good as you can be. Then you present it.
As the Avett Brothers, Jim's boys have created a style all their own, a rich stew of folk, rock, country, bluegrass, honky-tonk, and ragtime, with a pinch of punk, and of course, a whole lot of dad.
This is where I come to have a good time. This is where I retreat to. There are probably between 65 and 70 guitars in this room. This is the oldest guitar that I own. This is a 1923 L2 Gibson. This is an OM42. Martin people made one of these for each store. There were 50 stores. This is the number 26. It's narrow-bodied, but it sounds like it's 10 feet deep. But my favorite is a big-bodied J200. I don't play golf, and I never fooled away my money. I put my money in musical instruments, in records. In this room, there are probably 2,000 albums that had some influence on me and some influence by way of me on the boys. Tom T. Hall was the real deal because he was such an excellent lyrics writer. If you're not familiar with Tom T. Hall, you need to get familiar with it. Merle Haggard grew up in Oklahoma and greatly influenced by the Dust Bowl, the Depression. He wrote such a great story song. Got up for sun up to get the work done up. Worked in the fields till the sun had gone down. Stood and we cried as we helplessly watched hailstones beating our crops to the ground. Anything we got was much more than we had in the good old days when times were bad. That song is one of my favorites because it says exactly what it needs to say in as simple a terms as it can be done. Singer-songwriters want to do this. One of the reasons that the boys are as popular as they are, they absolutely insist on holding the song up until it says exactly what needs to be said.
Park the old car that I love the best. Inspections due and it won't pass the test. It's funny how I have to put it to rest, and how one day I will join it.
Old cars are like old guitars. They take you back to when you were just getting started and cause you to reflect on the sacrifice and rewards along the way.
I wanted to find a girl that I loved and children that turned out to be an addition to humanity. Got those things. There's some things that I'd like to do, and I'm going to do them. I'm going to write a little bit more music. I'm going to play a little bit more. As far as aspirations, I think I heard Scott say that maybe I gave up a musical career so that they could have one. If I'd have had a musical career, it wouldn't have been much. So I don't admit the fact that we did things the way we did them. Susie and I supported our children in whatever they wanted to do.
Tear fell from my father's eyes. I wondered what my dad would say.
They can fly on their own. That's the important part.
You said I love you and I'm proud of you both in so many different ways.
You work all your life to get them out of the nest, and then you enjoy watching them fly.
Inspiration goes two ways in the Avett family, and thus inspired. Jim is recording new music. If there's any secret to success to be discovered here, it probably can be found in the notes of lives well lived and a strong commitment to playing with heart.
There's no room in your heart for me. Success in music has nothing to do with how much money you make. Now I must go and you must stay. If you can affect people's lives with your songs or your art, you are a success. I don't care if you starve to death. You are an absolute success. And leave part of my heart, but you can't change. You don't sit down and say, I'm going to write this song because it might be a big seller. We'll be able to live on the Riviera. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to say there's a song in that, there's a story in that, and I'd like for others to hear it. No, you can't change who you are just to love me.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.